Now, we're looking at this idea that our opponent has gotten further into the guard pass. They've established contact. They've conquered the idea of distance and angle, and now they're starting to level change down to two knees. They're getting close to you, and they're getting ready to solidify and finish that pass. And so we're starting to bring out some of the more like emergency responses. They're getting further into the move. We've got to pull some extra things, resources out of the woodwork to put them back in guard. One of the more useful methods here is an elbow prop. We saw earlier in the video that your opponent, when he goes to pass your guard, must pin a hip and a shoulder to the ground for 3 seconds once he's passed your legs in order to establish a completed pass. So when someone does come around our legs, the onus is on us to get either a hip or a shoulder off the mat so that he doesn't pin us and it doesn't satisfy the criteria for a guard pass. We just looked at the idea of knee propping, getting our hips off the mat. Now let's look at the idea of elbow propping. Okay, Placido's here. He establishes control, comes around the corner, and level changes down. From this position, instead of using my inside arm to frame on my opponent, I'm going to switch and get that cross frame. It's always thumb posting inside the elbow. So if he were to reach for my head, he would never be able to get to my head. So you've got inside position with your thumb. Okay, we're going to use that. Now that my right hand is no longer occupied, we're going to come up and we're going to prop onto our elbow. So even if Placido came around the corner now, no, this came in, no. He doesn't pass my guard because my shoulder's not on the mat. In order to pass my guard, my hip and my shoulder have to be on the mat for 3 seconds while he covers me past my legs. As long as my shoulder's off the mat, there's no guard pass. And in addition, because my shoulder's off the mat, I have greater mobility. From this position, first method is very simple. We just take our feet back to our own buttocks and we just scoot. And as a result, we put them back in guard. So scooting is the simpler method of the two. So once again, training partners here in front of us. Starts the action of coming around the corner and successfully drops down and so goes to pass. We take our cross frame in place and then from here we build up onto an elbow. Then we take our feet and we just scoot away from our opponent. And as a result, we're able to put them back in guard. So that goes back to what we saw earlier in the video with our solo drills, scooting. Okay, it creates distance, lets us put them back in guard. Now, scooting is a good method, but sometimes you've got a strong physical opponent who's pushing into you. I'm going to advocate in those situations, go back to your shoulder roll, because the shoulder roll uses the strength of your legs to put people back in guard. It's always an inherently better method. Your legs are just stronger than your arms. So, same scenario, opponent comes through and starts that action of passing. We stop him at the elbow, we cross frame, and we build up here. But for whatever reason, this guy's pushing into us. We're like, oh man, it's hard for me to scoot away. So instead, we're going to put our hand underneath, we're going to prop up. And as he comes in to complete the pass, we're just going to roll through, put this guy right back in guard, and we're ready to play again. Okay, so now we're combining the previous move, the shoulder roll, with an elbow prop. So once again, training partner comes in and goes to pass our guard. We start putting up our defensive frames. He clears my knee out, and from here we start coming up to an elbow. Now I just prop, and then from here as he goes to pass, we just roll on through it and put this guy right back in guard, and we're ready to play. Okay, so there's some practical ways to combine elbow propping and knee propping with a shoulder roll to make sure this guy doesn't get past your guard.